Is about 2 months ago. I was at home. You guys were in here doing the show. And you guys called the Brooklyn Nets a 60-win team. A 60 potential win team.
Potential.
Do you still stand by that?
Potential, they could.
I mean, well, the reason I really wanted to ask you is because I know you cover the Nets, you write for the Brooklyn Nets, so I kind of want to ask you your take on their slow start to the year and what you think, because, I mean, they've been getting the real, I guess, statistic to this is in the last 6 quarters, they've been outscored by 59 points.
Yeah, I can believe that. Well, listen, I'm going to be honest. Obviously, you've spent more time thinking about that conversation than I have in the last 2 months, because, honestly, I don't remember the context of that situation. I kind of hope I didn't outright say they could win 60 games. I mean, potentially, I do feel they have the talent. I definitely think, I still think they're going to wind up being better than the Knicks at the end of the season. And I think the way that second unit plays, I think is going to be vital to their success. I don't think they're going to win 60 games, though. I think they can win between 50 and 55. But if everything breaks well, it's always a possibility. Again, I don't remember a lot of the context behind that conversation, but I'm really hoping.
Well, you guys were talking about the NBA season and what you thought. I mean, I don't remember the entire conversation. I just that always stuck out in my head.
And I just want to point out, if I'm correct, that was the first time I was on the air, right?
Yes.
So
because it was the 1 week I wasn't in here with you,
yeah.
and I've always wanted to ask you this because I don't feel I don't think they break 45 wins this year.
See, I think that's too low for them. I do think they're going to break 45.
And I don't think there's any way they end up with a better record than the Knicks. I just don't.
I don't have that much faith in the Knicks. I'm going to be honest. You're not going to hear me saying too many.
Keep in mind, he is a heartbroken Knicks fan over the past 10, 15 years.
I'm a Knicks fan. I grew up. Patrick Ewing is my all-time favorite player. John Starks, Charles Oakley. These are the guys. This is the Knick team that I grew up watching, just like you. I remember where I was when I watched them in the finals against the Houston Rockets. I remember where I was when I watched them later when they had Camby and some guys when they got to the finals.
I'll tell you what. Do you remember? Here's the test. This should be an easy one. Do you remember what happened during Game 4 of the finals between the Knicks and Rockets? The big thing that happened while we were watching it on TV.
Come on now, stop it. They had the split screen up.
That's right.
O.J. Simpson's chase.
Right.
How do you know?
Right.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Is I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember, but this is. You want to know what the crazy part of this is? Do you know where I was when I saw that?
Where were you?
I was in a bar down the street from my house.
Aren't you younger than me?
I am younger than you, and I was at. There's a bar that used to be down the street from me called the Italian American Club. My dad used to hang out all the time there with all his friends, and I used to be welcomed in there whenever. But this is a time when my dad was in there, and he was playing cards, doing something, and hanging out. And I happened to be down there, and I was. You know, they had some, like, you know, little video game, arcade games and stuff. I would go in there, play shuffleboard, you know. And I remember sitting at the bar watching that happen as it was happening. It's just a crazy memory I'll always have.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was crazy.
So did we get the response you wanted from him on that one, or?
And again, listen, I don't remember the context of that conversation.
Well, no, but I just remember you calling them a potential 60-win team, and I looked at it and I was like, there is no way they are a 60-win team.
Listen, I'll always say potentially they have a better shot than the Knicks do at getting 60 this year.
Up and down, their lineup isn't as good as the Knicks.
I like that second unit. I think Blatch, if Blatch winds up playing the way he's capable of, that's a powerful weapon off that bench. Brooks has been playing very well off the bench this year, and I like that starting 5. I think it's a good starting 5 when Wallace is healthy. So and listen, they're younger. They don't need walkers to get around and crutches and all and wheelchairs.
But those old guys that are coming in, bringing that veteran experience, they bring in. These are all guys that have played in big spots and played in big moments.
I'm going to be honest. As good as this is, I really wonder if they're going to be able to keep this going when Amari Stoudemire
See, that was the question I kind of brought up to Dave yesterday.
In a perfect world, and listen,
that's my question,
I'm a huge Amari guy, and I just think it's a shame that he's kind of been phased out since Melo has come over. You know, he's the guy who basically started the revival of people wanting to come back to the Garden. He wanted Melo on the team, and like the second Melo showed up, Amari had to take a back seat. I just don't think that's fair or right, but the problem is the way the team is playing. He's probably going to need to come off the bench when he comes back anyway. So I just really wonder how that changes the dynamic of things when he comes back. I just don't think Jason Kidd is holding up for the entire season. So, anyway, what are we doing?
Well, look, I look at it as simple as this. I remember the conversation, and I more than anything else, I remember talking to Eric after the show and having him just rip into me for like 20 minutes about our conversation for it. Look, they're they're 1-2.
Yeah.
They have 79 games left, which means they would have to go 59-20 to reach the 60-win mark.
Okay, do you think they're going 59-20? I'll even give you a little bit of leeway. We'll put them at, say, 54-25. So that leaves them at 55 wins for the year. Do you think they get to 55 wins? Let's make a prediction right now. Where do the Nets finish? Because right now I'm gonna throw it out there on the table for everyone out there to hear. I'm going with a 42-40 record for the Nets.
Listen, I'm going to be honest. I don't like predicting records this early in the season just because anything can happen. I think, listen, everything breaks right for the Nets. They could wind up somewhere between 50 and 60 wins. I definitely do. But, you know, it's an 82-game season. Injuries happen, slumps happen.
50 or 60 wins, though, that would put them like in like the top 3 or 4 in the East.
Honestly, I think they are one of the top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference.
Wow.
I do. Honestly, like, we didn't get to do the Eastern Conference preview, but like I told you guys, I actually did an Eastern Conference preview on the Brooklyn Nets
we
website.
meant to. We wanted to. That was supposed to be last Thursday.
It wasn't anybody's fault. It was Hurricane Sandy and everything. So.
Damn that bitch.
Listen, real quickly, I'll tell you right now, my top 8 teams in the Eastern Conference, Miami number 1, Boston number 2, Indiana 3, Brooklyn 4, Philly 5, Chicago 6, Knicks 7, Hawks 8. That's my Eastern Conference right there. So
you really do believe in this Nets team?
It's not that I believe with them. I think they're one of the top 4 teams in the conference. I think Miami's winning the conference in a walk. I don't think it's even going to be close in that perspective. But I like that Nets lineup. I think if Joe Johnson and everybody stays healthy, I do think they can wind up. I'm going to be honest, I'll put a prediction on it. What was 53-29.
I was actually just going to say 52-30.
There you go.
That's what we'll say. I was just going to say 52-30 is what just.
Well, listen, I still say if that team can wind up gelling, depending on how quickly they come together, they could get more. They could get more, but that's all I'm going to say.
I'm writing these down as well because I think this will also be fun to revisit at the end of the year. So I'm saying 52-30. Mike, you said 53-29.
Now on the opposite end, I'll give my prediction since I kind of made you give the one about the Nets here, and I put you on the spot. I'll do my own here for the Knicks because I have a little bit more faith in them, I think, than you do.
That's not saying much, truthfully.
Well, what are you saying for the Nets first?
For the Nets, I said it. I said 42-40.
I didn't have it written down. I'm sorry.
42-40. For the Knicks, I'm going 50-32.
I can't do that. I can't do that at this point.
50-30. But that's just my. I'm calling it a preseason prediction already. Although we've started the season already.
I'm going to say it like this. You know, I didn't think Jason Kidd would be as good as he has been so far. I didn't think Ronnie Brewer would be as good as he has been so far. I am surprised. It seems like Melo's shot totals are not really as high as you would expect them to be for Melo, which is a good thing. They are getting people involved. You are seeing a lot of three-pointers, which really, that worries me as much as the injuries do. Because we saw, going back to 94, we saw with John Starks, you live by the three-pointer, you die by the three-pointer.
That's the truth.
I'll never forget John Starks for getting us back into that Game 6 game and forcing Game 7. And I'll never forget John Starks for shooting us out of Game 7. So, listen, the three-point is great when they're hitting 15 of 30 or 13 of 23 or whatever the totals have been for the last couple games. But if they have games where they're 5 for 35 because they're getting too used to it, they could wind up piling up some losses quick if they over-rely on that.
Well, let's go. Let's have you throw out a record for the Knicks. If we're going to get, we might as well guess for both teams.
Honestly, I'm going to say 46-36.
46-36. And I actually, We'll go with 49 and 33. Is that right? Did I do my math right? I think I
What
did
was
my
it
math.
again? Say it
49 and 33.
49 and 32. No, 33.
Yeah, all
you're
right.
right.
All
Yeah,
right,
no,
so yeah.
my math is wrong. Sorry.
All right, so I mean, we're all in the same realm. It's not like anybody's really that far from. I mean, you guys are separated by 4 games. I mean, let's be serious. It's not like you guys are apart by 15.